This is the Two Scrappy Chicks podcast where life is messy, the stories are real, and we dare to talk about it anyway.
Hey, welcome back. Real Housewives of the OC. And I gotta admit, I just did Big Brother. Short one, 15 minutes. Um, this I might run through it quick because I am tired. Um, but I want to get this out. Don't want to disappoint my other reality uh listeners. All right. So we start out with Gina and Emily um doing TikToks with outfits. I'm sorry, it was Gina's house. Gina had outfits out and Emily came over and then Shannon came over and I guess Shannon was told her social media sucks. So they're including Shannon in on the TikToks. And then they talked about the birthday gift Gina talked about the birthday gift that Emily got from Carmela, which is a Dior clutch, and it had a dildo in it. Because Gina's just like, okay, what the heck? What was the point, the purpose? Um, Gina gave Emily her gift, and it was a two-headed hoodie for her and Emily, because they're besties. It was funny. They put it on. And then she also got her a candle, and it said on it the sticker, smells like my 40s are over, because Emily turned 50. And while they were there, while at Gina's house, Tamara called and she's like, oh, good. I got the three of you. I want to invite you over for a taco bar. Um, so they showed the date of February 23rd of this year, and there was violence going on in Puerto Vallarta with the cartel, and that's where Vicky has her place. And so Tamara thought, let's have a little party taco bar at her house. And since Vicky is kind of missing her home in Mexico. And um what is I am so sorry. Okay. So back to the girls, Gina, Shannon, and Emily. We're doing a TikTok, putting a nylon over their heads and trying to blow out a candle. And I want to say the candle was in a watermelon. So it was funny because, their faces all looked funny with that nylon over them. And funny story. So if you've seen Old School, and I cannot believe that movie's like 20 years old. Old School with Will Ferrell in it, Vince Vaughn, and The Godfather. Uh, oh God, Luke Wilson, and I'm sure I'm missing. Oh, oh, Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo was in it. And Jeremy Piven, and I'm sure I'm missing other people that were in it. But anyway, there's a part where they're recruiting for the fraternity and they're in this black van and they pull up, you know, to kidnap these people and they're wearing the nylons over their heads. And it's funny because there was a day that back in the day when I was working, um, I didn't go into work because I mean, it was snowing really bad. I'm trying to think what year it was. It was probably 2011 because I think my daughter was, yeah, my daughter already graduated. And I'm like, well, my son didn't have a far walk home from school, but I said to my daughter, let's go get him, but let's wear nylons over our head and do it, grab him, put him in the car like old school. And she's like, Mom, what if people really think we're kidnapping them? And I'm like, it's fine, don't worry about it. So we pull up and we jump out, and he's just like, what the heck? And we're like pushing him in the car, and we put him in the car, and he's just like, you guys are weird. And no, nobody, you know, I don't think anybody was around to see it to be like, this guy's getting kidnapped. So yeah, my daughter and I, we did some fun, goofy things. Sometimes my son did not get our sense of humor. But anyway, back to OC. Um, we next have Tamra at a yoga studio with Fernanda, and she's known her for quite a while, and she joked around and said that was her hall pass. Fernanda, I guess, is lesbian. And then Heather and Jen joined her for the yoga, and they were doing Brazilian booty class. And I think it was Heather that said, Tamara, you have a nice ass or something. Yeah. So then Tamara and Jen and Heather are sitting. And then Tamara asks Heather, you don't post our TikToks. I feel like you want to be friends, but you want to hide it. So then um that became a discussion, and Heather's like, no, that's not what it is. Um, and I guess Heather, well, see, Heather is really into TikToking. So yeah, so I don't know why she wouldn't, post it with Tamara, although I know that Tamara, like last year, um, was going through stuff. So I don't know if that's the reason why or that, because this was like back in February. So who knows? So then they do quick visits of the girls at their house. Emily and Shane with their daughter Annabelle, and Emily's doing her hair for Cher. Then we go to Jen's house, and she's talking to her son Grayson, and she's like, I hope you're saving up some of your money from working because you're going to pay some of that speeding ticket. And then we go to Shannon's house, and she's on FaceTime with one of her daughters. And then we actually get to um, Vicky, and she's having lunch with her son Michael, and he is 40 now. And I was just like, wow, so he was 20 when Vicky started the show 20 years ago. And he still works for Vicky for Coda Insurance. He does the life insurance, he runs it, and he works remotely, and he is traveling. Um, and he came from Spain, so I don't know if he is stationed now in Spain for a while, and then we'll go to a different place. And he's not married and doesn't have kids, and he hasn't seen his sister in 8 years and hasn't met two of her younger kids. And I guess Brianna lives in Oklahoma. Um, they have moved around, Brianna and her husband. And I know they lived in Illinois because Vicky is from Illinois. Gosh, Brianna's 39. Wow. How is she 39? So, yeah, gosh, they have lived like several places. So they were I mean, probably lived in California, and then he was in the military, so then they moved. I could have sworn they moved to Oklahoma or Texas. And then they moved to Illinois, and then looks like they're back in Oklahoma, and they raise lambs, chickens, and dogs. So, and she has four kids: Troy, Owen, Hank, and Cora Rose. So three boys and a girl. She was just born in 2022. Wow. Okay. So, um, and I'm umming again. So Vicky said that she has, better relationship with her kids, and her son Michael, Vicky says, "Don't you want to have kids, get married?" And he said he selfishly kind of likes his selfish life. And Vicky regrets divorcing Don and, breaking up the family. So then we have Jen, Tamra, and Carmela, and they meet up. And Jen said she went with Shannon and Emily. No, Carmela said, sorry, Carmela comes up and she said she went with Emily and Shannon to a cowgirl sex workout. Interesting. Never heard of that. Okay. And then, so yeah, so it was Tamara and Jen and Carmela. Oh, I guess they were asking, why do I feel like was Emily there? Or was this the party? No, I am so sorry. I know I just watched it. But anyway, Emily says to Carmela about the gift, thank you. But Gina has been vocal about it, about the toy. Like, what was the alternative motive? And that side note was Gina may have felt territorial, and Carmela's just like, it was just a nice gift and just a gag gift. Why there was a dildo in it. And then I don't know how this like came up, but Carmela's rent is 35,000 a month. Yikes. And when it comes to her business, she was talking about it. She has select clients, and when they pick out a house, someone to, you know, tweak it. So she gets involved in that. And people are calling her a house flipper, and she said, "No, I'm a developer." But Vicky is calling it a house flipper. And how she got into real estate is she bought a house that her and Jeff were going to fix up. Jeff is her boyfriend, but then he cheated on her. She's still with him, but she's like, I'm selling this house. So she got her real estate license and that sold her own house that she was going to move into. And she made, she sold it for 1 million. So impressive. So then we have Carmela go to one of her clients' house, Jack Bergman, and Carmela says she has sold 100 million in the last in real estate in the last 10 years. Um, Jack Bergman, his house is 8,600 square feet, and he's looking to list his house. And Carmela was saying to price it slightly under the comps because it gets competitive, and then people start offering more. So he's like, "All right, let's do it." So then we have Vicky and Shannon, Heather and Tamra, and they go on a boat whale watching. And Tamra acknowledges to Shannon, I really want to thank you for that text you sent. Shannon sent her a text saying, "Hey, I have decor, for your little fiesta. Would you want it?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, come over early." So um Shannon still was saying, when they do their in the moment interviews, she was saying that this doesn't mean we're back together, doesn't mean back together, She said it every time. Okay, we get it. And they do finally see a whale, and they don't want Vicky go back to Mexico yet. They're afraid for her safety. Okay. Oh, and that Vicky isn't great with new people. And there was 3 whales in the water. So this is the day of the party. Shannon brings over the stuff and helps, Tamara decorate. And then she sees these white boxes on the counter and she's like, "What is this?" And Tamara's like, "Oh, that's for a game called Friend in a Box." And uh Shannon was like, "Okay, I know where that's coming from." And it's coming from Heather saying that she put Tamara in a box. Um, Carmela was not there. I think she went to Santa Fe. And then that's when Heather said, "Oh, she worked for the Oppenheimer group." So I was thinking, okay, so was she on the Netflix show with the Oppenheimer group, Selling Sunset? I'll have to look. And then this is when Vicky's saying she's not a developer, she's a flipper, house flipper. And then Heather thinks Jen is obsessed with Tamra because she keeps like wanting to know about Tamra and Heather's relationship. And then Tamra announces the game, Friend in a Box, and Heather's like, "Uh-huh, okay, I get it." So Tamra says, "Decorate the box," and then anonymously put in each person's box how you feel about them. So, um, Tamra's box, Shannon put eggshells because, she feels like she's got to walk around eggshells around around her. And Tamara's like, "Yep, I agree with that." Heather put the friend I love deeply, but when she hurts me, it cuts me deeply. So yeah, that tracks, as people would say. And Tamara pretty much says, I take it all and agree with it. And Gina was just like, huh? You know, so people are surprised by how Tamara is handling things now, much better than before. Um, Gina's box. Tamara put in Boss Babe. Someone else put Survivor and Role Model. And then Heather wrote Laugh and Love even when we disagree. Emily, oh, so funny. She's it's analyzer, but she was saying analyzer. That was from Gina. Um, Hard on the outside, soft in the middle. That was from Tamara. Interrogator. I don't know who put that in. Vicky's box. The Hustler. Boss Babe ready to whoop it up. And um, don't fall asleep. So I guess she has fallen asleep when people were talking to her. And then Emily wrote Debbie Downer. And Vicky's like, no, I'm a positive bitch. And she just got so offended and said, that was rude. And Emily goes, I miss the fun. And Vicky's like, well, after I get surgery, it will come back. I promise you. Okay. And then when Vicky was doing her in the moment talking, she's like, it's cold in here. Is there a fan blowing on me in that? My nipples are going to get hard. So that was funny. Um, Heather's box, social bestie, Tamra. Um, and then somehow Heather and Jen get into it, and it has to do with Heather saying Jen is obsessed with Tamra, and the whole um conversation, you know, that they had, and Jen asking Heather about her and Tamra's relationship. So they kind of were going back and forth, and Emily, her voice was scratchy, so she was losing her voice, and um I think Emily piped in, and Heather's like, I'm talking here, and Emily's like, you have been talking all night. So Heather says to Jen, let's move forward. And Jen's like, okay. Well, then Jen's side um, camera interview, she says, well, now I'm going to be putting Heather in several boxes. And she just starts naming off stuff, watch your back and stuff like that. Um, I didn't catch all of what she said. And Jen's box, they wrote the peacemaker, the hype girl, um, understanding, understanding, and something I can't read what I wrote. And then Shannon's box, healthy boundary, work in progress, Gina, kind but holds grudges. Tamara wrote that and explained herself. And when she was saying, it was really nice to get that text from you, and she's getting all emotional and tearing up. And she's like, missed her and wanted her back in her life. She's like, I miss those times. It was as if it was sent like 3 years ago. And then they show interview with um, the in the moment with Shannon, where she's just again saying she's not they're not fully back. Like Shannon's being really cautious with this, and Tamara did apologize. I've said some hurtful things, and I'm sorry. So yeah, that's how it ended. And then they were like, "So what do we do with our boxes?" And I guess everybody took their box home. I don't know. Maybe some threw it in the fireplace and burnt it at home. Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Um, maybe an interesting thing to do is to for women, make a box and then do what they did. Write anonymous notes in there. But I think it all needs to be nice. I don't think we need to put bad stuff in there. You don't want that bad stuff out there. So, all right. I'm going to wrap it up. And till next Thursday for the OC. I still have to do Married at First Sight. I will probably record that tomorrow when I am more awake, but it will probably be later on, like after dinner. So it may not come out until Sunday. And then The Valley has three more episodes of Reunion. And I'm like, what am I going to replace with The Valley? Well, I didn't realize this, and I heard about it, but didn't realize it was going to be out already. But House of Stassi. Stassi was from Vanderpump. And after her and Kristen, they kind of got let go from Vanderpump because of some stuff they said. But Stassi has made a comeback. She's got a podcast. I think she wrote 2 books or something like that. And she was on, and I have yet to watch it, Vanderpump Villa. So yeah, um, I think I'm gonna watch it. I guess 2 episodes are out already. But tomorrow I go see my hairdresser. She has watched Vanderpump Rules. In fact, we went and saw Tom Sandoval and his band play 2 years ago, up in Des Plaines, and we met him outside in the alley. Um, he was going from one building to the other, and a couple of us were out there, and he, it's like, did a impromptu meet and greet with us. So we stood in line and met him and took a picture with him. So yeah, I thought that was cool. Um, I'll see if she's okay with me posting the pic in the group. So, oh, but right now Sandoval, I don't know if they're still touring. I mean, they were doing really good touring across the US. He's good. I mean, I have some videos of it. I could probably post those and some pictures. But he had an issue with his girlfriend got into it with her, and then her dad was there and he didn't like how he was being to his daughter. So he stepped in, and then Tom pushed him, and there was a fire right there, like an outdoor fire, that her dad ended up stepping in. I think he's okay, but there's like, I don't know whose house it was, if it was his house, Victoria's house, or what, but there's restraining orders and whatnot. So I haven't heard anything else lately. But yeah, he's a hot mess again, just when the Scandival thing, was going on 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was 2 years ago. And now this. So, yeah. So, hopefully he's doing better, and he can gosh, he's in his 40s, when, just dude, get it together. Get on the right path. Like Schwartzy, but Tom Schwartz, he's just so adorable, and he's like a puppy dog, so naive. Sandoval could learn a lot from him. And they were at a time, kind of besties, the two Toms, Tom and Tom. All right. Till then, the next probably recording that will come out will be Married at First Sight, and then hopefully I can get my hairdresser, who I've known since junior high, so she's also a good friend. Hopefully I can convince her to do the recap with me for House of Stassi. All right. This is a good night. We really appreciate you hanging out with the two scrappy chicks today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, download, and share it with a friend. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, just let us know.